Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. We'll go ahead and begin our Public Safety, Natural Resources, Transportation Joint Subcommittee this morning. Let me make sure. Could Secretary please call the roll?
Assemblywoman Miller. Here. Assemblywoman Monroe Moreno. Here. Assemblywoman Peters. Here. Assemblywoman Titus. Here. Assemblywoman Tolles. Here. Assemblyman Watts. Here. Senator Brooks. Here. Senator Goycochea.
Here.
Chair Dennis.
Here. Thank you. I'd like to remind everyone that while we as committee members and some staff are here in the committee room, the Zoom meeting is still being hosted for staff and agency representatives to participate remotely. This is due to the current capacity limits on the number of people that can attend committee meetings in person. Those wishing to attend committee meetings in person can register to attend by visiting the legislature's NALIS website. I don't. Members of the public wish to make public comment can continue to call in via telephone, and there will be a public comment period at the end of the agenda today. Also, just a reminder, those on Zoom, to keep yourself muted when you're not speaking, and for those in the room, to turn off or mute any electronic devices you have. I'm going to do that while I'm thinking about it. Today, we will be closing 6 budgets in the Office of the Military. And I think that's it. So let's begin. We're going to begin with the, as I mentioned, it's the Office of the Military. So if staff will lead us through this.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, J. Marie Mangoba from the Fiscal Analysis Division, and I'm here to present 6 Office of the Military budgets recommended for closing today. The first one is the Office of the Military, which was heard by the subcommittee on March 17, 2021. There are 3 major closing issues for this budget. The first major closing issue, the governor recommends federal funds of $2.6 million, K-12 funding of $1.2 million, and general fund reductions of $190,000 over the 2021-23 biennium to continue the implementation of the Nevada National Guard Youth Challenge program, which was initially approved by the 2019 legislature. Combined with the amount included in the base budget, this recommendation would provide total funding of $10.6 million over the 2021-23 biennium for the Nevada National Guard Youth Challenge program. And the information staff provided in the middle of page 4 provides the decision units related to this major issue. The recommendation includes total federal funds of $7.7 million and state funding of $2.9 million over the 2021-23 biennium, including the continuation of 51 full-time state positions. The table on page 4 provides the governor recommended budget for the program in each year of the 2021-23 biennium. And just for background information, the 2019 legislature approved Senate Bill 295, now codified in Chapter 388T of NRS, created the Nevada National Guard Youth Challenge program to be administered by the Office of the Military for the purposes of educating, training, and mentoring youth who have dropped out or are at risk of dropping out of high school, and sets forth the requirements for the operations of the program. The National Guard Bureau provides funding of 75% of the cost of the program, with matching state funding required for the remaining 25%. To assist with the state match, the 2019 legislature approved general fund appropriations of $500,000 in each year of the 2019-21 biennium for the Nevada National Guard Youth Challenge program. That amount is included in the governor's recommended base budget in the upcoming biennium. The table on page 6 provides the 51 full-time state positions approved by the IFC during the 2019-20 interim, which is included in the governor's recommended base budget for the upcoming biennium. Based on the Division of Human Resource Management's personnel system as of April 19th, only 11 of the 51 positions are currently filled. During the budget hearing on March 17th, the office indicated it is working on a revised recruitment timeline due to resignations, job offer declines, and revisions to the recruitment process as the state transitions its job recruitments to the Smart 21 system. The office indicates it expanded its recruitment efforts by posting job announcements on its website, sharing job opportunities with stakeholders, and working with other challenge programs across the country. Pursuant to NRS 388D.330, the office is required to enter into an agreement with the Superintendent of Public Instruction and the Board of Trustees of a school district to establish a challenge school. Based on the contract between the office and the Elko County School District, the per pupil funding allocation from the distributed school account for students enrolled in the program will be paid directly to the Elko County School District. The school district will then forward the per pupil funding received from the DSA to the Office of the Military, and the office would reimburse the Elko County School District for the cost of running the high school. However, the governor's recommended K-12 funding of $595,000 in each year, which is based on a per pupil amount of $5,950 for 100 students, appears to reflect a historic amount that only includes the guaranteed revenue provided under the Nevada Plan K-12 formula funding and does not include the other local revenues that the Elko County School District receives. Staff would note that the challenge school is a school under the Elko County School District, and as such, it is entitled to all the state and local funding that all Elko public schools currently receive. During the budget hearing, the office indicated the contract with the Elko County School District anticipate a transition to the Nevada plan to the new pupil-centered funding plan. In follow-up communication with fiscal staff, the office indicated it is coordinating with the Office of the Military's Deputy Attorney General, the Elko County School District, the Nevada Department of Education, and the Legal Counsel of the Legislative Council Bureau to amend the contract to ensure appropriate language is included to allow all funding available from federal, state, or local sources to be provided to the challenge school. As indicated, the governor's recommended base budget includes general fund appropriations of $500,000 in each year of the 2021-23 biennium to ensure that the office has sufficient state match for the program until the program receives sufficient K-12 funding for the required match. Additionally, as indicated previously, the governor's recommended K-12 funding of $595,000 in each year appears to be understated and does not include all the federal and other local revenue sources that are provided to all public schools. The office indicates that due to budget reductions, it was unable to include other facility projects required for the Nevada National Guard Youth Challenge program, and requests the ability to balance forward any remaining general fund appropriations and K-12 funding in fiscal year 22 to fiscal year 23, which the office plans to use as a state match to receive additional federal funding to perform facilities projects. And accordingly, fiscal staff recommends language be included in the Appropriations Act to allow the office to balance forward unexpended general fund appropriations between fiscal years of the 2021-23 biennium with interim Finance Committee approval. Staff would also note that NRS 388D.325 establishes the Nevada National Guard Youth Challenge Program account to house the revenue and expenditures associated with the Challenge School. The office has not utilized this account since it continues to establish the program using federal and state revenue in this budget. However, the subcommittee could recommend a letter of intent to be issued requiring the office to research the use of this separate account that is established in statute in the 2023-25 biennium. The office could further be required to research the ongoing state match funding that would be needed in the 2023-25 biennium once the challenge school is established and enrollment and K-12 funding history is available. Lastly, fiscal staff would note that the office indicates that Decision Unit E275 includes contract services of $640,818 in fiscal year 22 and $600,000 in fiscal year 23, which is incorrect and should reflect $702,000 $712,243 in each year of the 2021-23 biennium. Additionally, the decision unit includes federal funds of $1.3 million in fiscal year 22 and $1.2 million in fiscal year 23, which the office indicates is incorrect and should show $1.5 million in each year of the 2021-23 biennium. Accordingly, fiscal staff recommends technical adjustments to increase contract services to reflect the requested amounts, which would result in a net increase in federal funds of $444,958 over the 2021-23 biennium. On the top of page 9 are the decision for the subcommittee. Does the subcommittee wish to recommend approving federal funds of $2.6 million, K-12 funding of $1.2 million, and general fund reductions of $190,000 over the 2021-23 biennium to continue the implementation of the Nevada National Guard Youth Challenge program with the technical adjustments noted by fiscal staff, and provide fiscal staff with authority to make other technical adjustments as necessary. The subcommittee may also wish to provide fiscal staff with authority to include language in the Appropriations Act to allow the Office of the Military to balance forward unexpected and expended general fund appropriations between fiscal years of the 2021-23 biennium with the interim finance committee approval. And lastly, the subcommittee could also consider recommending a letter of intent be issued requiring the office to research the possible use of the Nevada National Guard Youth Challenge program account that is established in NRS 388D.325 beginning in the 2023-25 biennium. The office could further be required to research the ongoing state match funding that would be needed in the 2023-25 biennium once the challenge school is established and enrollment and K-12 funding history is available. The office could provide a report with its finding to the interim finance committee no later than September 1st of 2022.
Okay, do we have any questions? If not, I will take a motion. Assemblywoman Miller.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the adoption of all of the suggestions as detailed by fiscal staff that is listed verbatim on page 9.
Second.
We have a motion by Assemblywoman Miller, second by Senator Brooks. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Let's go on.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On page 9 is the second major closing issue. The governor recommends general fund appropriations of $185,398 over 2021-23 biennium for one unclassified psychological health manager position. The office indicates the recommendation for one new unclassified psychological health manager position would provide an additional mental health provider for service members and would ensure the health and safety of military personnel, their families, and the community. The office indicates it currently has 3 mental health providers, 1 for the Air National Guard and 2 for the Army National Guard, and there has been an increase in service members seeking assistance. The office further indicates that federal funding is only available for those 3 existing mental health providers, which is prompting the recommendation to fund this new position with general fund appropriations. The information on the bottom of page 9 provides additional details regarding the duties and responsibilities of the recommended new unclassified psychological health manager position. During the budget hearing on March 17th, the office indicated that the state does not have enough personnel to assist with mental health issues for service members and has a waiting list of individuals wishing to see a mental health specialist. The office further indicated the recommendation would expand the state resources available for support and technical expertise for service members seeking help with mental issues and service members who were deployed to integrate back to society. On April 13th, the Governor's Finance Office requested fiscal staff to enter technical adjustments to increase the annual salary for the unclassified psychological health manager position from $80,000 per year, as recommended by the Governor, to $83,395 per year, which is the appropriate salary as determined by the Division of Human Resource Management. The decisions pertaining to unclassified salaries and position changes will be determined by the money committees when the pay bill is considered, and staff requests authority to make that technical adjustment. The decision for the subcommittee is, does the subcommittee wish to recommend approving one unclassified psychological health manager position for the Office of the Military as recommended by the governor? And if approved, the final salary for this new unclassified position will be determined by the money committees when the pay bill is considered. Fiscal staff also requests authority to make technical adjustments as necessary.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Not seeing any. Assemblywoman Miller?
Thank you, Chair. I move to approve one classified psychological health manager position for the Office of the Military, as recommended by the governor. And we realize the final salary for the new unclassified position will be determined by the money committees when the pay bill is considered, and also for fiscal staff to have the authority to make technical adjustments as necessary.
Second.
We have a motion by Assemblywoman Miller, second by Senator Brooks. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Let's go on to number 3.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The final major closing issue for this budget, the Governor's Finance Office submitted Budget Amendment A215393650, which recommends federal funds totaling $1.8 million over the 2021-23 biennium to establish 2 new STAR-based programs, including 8 new unclassified positions in Clark and Washoe counties. The governor's recommendation would allow 5th grade students to interact with military personnel, to explore careers and observe real-world science, technology, engineering, and math, otherwise known as STEM, applications in Nevada National Guard bases. The new STAR-based program is 100% federally funded and is anticipated to start in September 2022. The table on page 11 provides the recommended expenditures for the STAR-based program in each year of the 2021-23 biennium. And the information provided on page 11 provides the duties and responsibilities and the recommended annual salaries of the 8 unclassified positions as indicated in the budget amendment. This includes 2 unclassified administrator positions, 2 unclassified executive assistant positions, and 4 unclassified training specialist positions. On April 13th, the governor's office requested fiscal staff to enter the following technical adjustments to reflect the changes in the position titles and annual salaries of certain positions included in the budget amendment, which were determined by the Division of Human Resource Management. The first one is to increase the annual salary of 2 unclassified administrator position from $90,500 per year as recommended by the governor to $91,842 per year. Change the position titles of 2 unclassified executive assistant positions to unclassified administrative assistant positions, and decrease the annual salaries from $62,500 per year as recommended by the governor to $58,380 per year, and increase the annual salaries of 4 unclassified training specialist positions from $75,500 per year as recommended by the governor to $79,401 per year. Decisions pertaining to these unclassified salaries and position changes will be determined by the money committees when the pay bill is considered, and staff requests authority to make any adjustments subsequently required. So the decision for the subcommittee is, does the subcommittee wish to recommend approving federal funds of $1.8 million over the 2021-23 biennium to establish 2 new STAR-based programs, including 8 new unclassified positions, as recommended in Budget Amendment A215393650, with the technical adjustments noted by fiscal staff. If approved, the final salary for the 8 new unclassified positions will be determined by the money committees when the pay bill is considered. Staff also requests authority to make other technical adjustments as necessary.
Okay, any questions? I don't see any. Assemblywoman Miller?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the committee to approve the federal funds of $1.8 million over the 2021-23 biennium to establish 2 new STAR-based programs, including 8 new unclassified positions as recommended in Budget Amendment A215393-650, with the technical adjustments noted by fiscal staff. Also, if approved, the final salary for the 8 new unclassified positions will be determined by the money committees when the pay bill is considered, and for fiscal staff to have the authority to make technical adjustments as necessary.
Second.
We have a motion by Assemblywoman Miller, second by Senator Brooks. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right. Okay, guess we're going on to the next budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will now begin presenting the remaining 5 budgets which the subcommittee has not previously reviewed for the Office of the Military and for which fiscal staff is responsible for developing closing recommendations. I will pause following my presentation of each budget to allow for questions. When I have presented the last budget in this group and questions have been addressed, the chair may wish to ask for a single motion for closing consideration on all of the budgets for which fiscal staff is responsible for developing recommendations. On page 13 is the Military Emergency Operations Center. This houses the Nevada Division of Emergency Management, Nevada Highway Patrol Dispatch, Nevada Division of Investigation, Nevada National Guard Civil Support Components, and the Nevada Division of Forestry, and is funded through building rent charges paid by the agencies located within that facility. There are no major closing issue for this budget. There are 2 other closing items for which staff requests technical adjustments. The first one is the governor recommends building rent revenues of $332,757 in fiscal year 22 and $332,747 in fiscal year 23, which the office indicates is incorrect and should reflect $333,236 in each year of the 2021-23 biennium. Accordingly, fiscal staff recommends technical adjustments to show building rent revenues of $333,236 in each year of the 2021-23 biennium to correct that error. The second is the governor recommended budget includes statewide inflation adjustments and fringe benefit adjustments that are balanced with building rent revenues, which is incorrect per the budget manual instruction and should be balanced with reserves. And so fiscal staff recommends technical adjustments to eliminate building rent revenues in both of those decision units, increase reserves by $2,270 over the 2021-23 biennium. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this budget.
Any questions? Okay, nope, none. Keep going.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On page 15 is the state active duty budget, which budgets for pay and allowances for members of the Nevada National Guard who are called to state active duty by the governor to fight a fire, combat a flood, or any other emergency and are performing as a labor force rather than a military force. There are no major closing issues and no other closing items for this budget. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? Nope. Okay, keep going.
Right, thank you, Mr. Chair. On page 17 is the Adjutant General Special Armory account. This account provides authority for the Office of the Military to receive rental income for the use of armories or other facilities. There are no major closing issues and no other closing items for this budget. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions? Nope. Okay, go. Keep going.
Thank you. On page 19 is the Military National Guard benefits. This budget was established in by the 1973 legislature to encourage recruitment and retention of active members of the Nevada National Guard by providing guardsmen with a funding source for educational tuition reimbursements. This budget pays the cost for summer school, and there are no major closing issues for this budget. There's only one other closing items, which is informational only. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions on this one? Okay. And I guess go to the next one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The last budget for today is the Military Patriot Relief Fund. This funds the account. This account may only be used to provide reimbursement for the cost of premiums on a group life insurance policy, for the cost of textbooks required for a course of study, and monetary relief for economic hardship experienced by a member of the Nevada National Guard. There are no major closing issues for this budget, and there are no other closing items.
Any questions on this budget? Okay. All right, let's go on to the summary.
Okay, so the last page, as previously noted, fiscal staff is responsible for developing recommendations for the following budget. To assist with the closing, fiscal staff has identified the budgets that are recommended to be closed as recommended by the governor, along with identified technical adjustments that are recommended below. Fiscal staff recommends that the following budgets be closed as recommended by the governor with the technical adjustments noted, and requests authority for staff to make other technical adjustments as necessary. For 101-3652, the Adjutant General Special Armory account, 101-3653, Military National Guard benefits, 101-3654, Military Patriot Relief Fund, 101-3655, the Military Emergency Operations Center, including the technical adjustments to reflect building rent revenues of $333,236 in each year of the 2021-23 biennium in the base budget, and eliminate building rent revenues in decision units M100 and decision units M300, and increase reserves by $2,270 over the 2021-23 biennium. And lastly, for 101-3658, the state active duty budget.
Okay, any questions? I am not seeing any. So Movement Miller.
Thank you, Chair. I move that we adopt the recommendation that the following budgets be closed as recommended by the governor with the technical adjustments noted, and request authority for staff to make other technical adjustments as necessary. For budgets 3652, the Adjutant General's Special Armory Account, 3653, Military National Guard benefits, 3654, Military Patriot Relief Fund, 3655, Military Emergency Operations Center, including technical adjustments to reflect building rent revenues of $333,236 in each year of the 2021-23 biennium in the base budget, and eliminate building rent revenues in Decision Unit M100 and Decision Unit M300, and increase revenues by $2,270 over the 2021-23 biennium. And item 3658 for the state active duty.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Just one correction. I believe you said revenue, but it's increased reserves. I want to make sure they get that from the right one. Is that correct?
Yes, please, because on page 23, it does say rent revenues.
Interesting. So can we get a clarification? Is it revenues or reserves? I'm talking the second line. I mean, the second to last line where it says increase reserves by 220.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Which one?
Yeah, under the fourth bullet point in the gray box on page 23, the very last line where it says increase reserves by 2,270, it is reserves there, not revenue.
Okay, I was looking at the line before.
Right.
Thank you.
That's correct, right? Okay. Just want to make sure we got it right. Any further discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Staff did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right, so let's move to our next item on the agenda today, public comment. So BPS go open the public comment line and queue up the first caller.
Thank you, Chair. The public line is open and working. However, there are no callers at this time.
Okay, let's give it just 30 seconds. We kind of went a little faster than probably most people anticipated, and maybe they haven't gotten on yet. So if we could give it 30 seconds.
Certainly. Thank you, Chair. Broadcast standing by. Thank you, Chair. The public line is open and working, and there are no callers at this time.
Great, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and close public comment. And I know this went really quick today, but the part that we didn't do, I'm sure will come up later, so we'll have to make it up somewhere along the way. So with that, we have no further items come before us. We are adjourned.